Orders understood. Orders. Oh, my lips are chapped. Yo, what is up, you sexy ass motherfuckers? Welcome back to yet another Rome 2 Total War Siege battle. This one's going to be a 3v versus 3 with a couple of people that were watching my stream, some old buddies of mine, and some new players alike. It's a really interesting battle. I'm not quite sure if I'm going to call this another Chariots battle or not, and you'll find out why later on in the battle. But make sure you guys sit back, relax, go grab a drink, go grab something to eat, go jerk off a quick one, call your grandmother, let her know that you love her, preferably not while you're jerking off a quick one. Whatever you guys got to do, let's get started. So I'm going to click the start button so that way we can have everybody start moving up. So the enemy team is going to consist of course, the Roman Empire. Surprisingly, it's not avocado spam, so I'm okay with it. We got our Syrian archers, of course. We've got two Velites, which is very interesting. Usually you see a lot more archers, but that's all right. We got a lot of legionaries, some principes, and some cavalry, just kind of like your typical Roman army. Then we got our Verni coming in with a lot of chosen swordsmen, Oathsworn. Of course, you have to have the Oathsworn and Celtic warriors. They do have archers. They're just kind of hidden. One of the specialties of our Verni over there. I'm playing as Pergamon. You can see me shooting at our Verni and at Rome over here, trying to get as many kills as I possibly can. And last but certainly not least, we have Carthage. Just warning you, Carthage does leave later on in the battle. I don't know if it was because of lag or rage or whatever, but they do leave. We're going to go ahead and put it in slow motion here real quick, but they're coming in with some mercenary Italian swords, Iberian swordsmen, Gallic warriors, lots of Cretan archers, some pikes, of course their general, all of the good stuff. And this is where the chariots go in. I'm going to go ahead and put it on normal speed. Pontus. So we got Pontus, Pergamon, and Messacily, Desert Rome. But Pontus coming out strong with an expensive unit of scythe chariots, but instantly just sallying out to do as much damage against Carthage as he can. And just look at that. Like, stops the towers completely in their tracks, doesn't let them move at all, continuously moves from unit to unit, just to try to make sure that they can't throw their pila, because if they get those pila out, these chariots are dead. That's one of the chariot's biggest weaknesses, the pila. And he's just doing a great job of just maneuvering this cavalry around and just absolutely destroying these Carthaginian units. It's beautiful. Carthage trying to run away from the might of the chariots and just getting absolutely melted because of it. Those thighs running red with the blood of our enemies. It's beautiful. It really is. Those chariots are getting a ton of kills, and now they turn back. And they just absolutely decimate this Italian swordsman unit, a unit of 160, just dropping so rapidly. It's like an MG42 machine gun, just rapid firing into these individual units, already breaking a unit of Iberian swords and just moving back into the tower units. The enemy was quickly trying to get their units back in the tower to try to make sure that they couldn't get hit by the chariots, but it just was not working. They are going to go ahead and get a chariot kill, get some javies into that chariot, but I mean, it's not going to stop it. They're just going to keep moving and keep getting those kills with 340 kills. The amount of kills that these chariots are getting, it's absolutely insane. It's so incredibly beautiful, and they're going to turn around and go after the great Roman Empire with their hastati, or maybe not. They're actually going to go turn around and finish off what they started. They don't want these Iberian swords to come back, so they're going to turn around and just absolutely decimate. Oh, these Iberian swordsmen, oh my god, they really should have just kept running, because they just got absolutely decimated by that chariot union. We're going to go ahead and go back into slow motion here. Looking over, we do have the Roman Empire over here. I apologize. I'm sorry. It wasn't Carthage that left during the battle. I think it was the Roman Empire that left. I think Rome was a newer player, and after kind of seeing those chariot plays and everything else, they might have left, or maybe they just had to go and eat dinner, or maybe lunch, because this was played during like lunchtime and everything else. But yeah, no, Rome did ended up leaving. We do have Messacily, aka Desert Rome, being played by my good buddy Wolf. old Rome 2 player, an old buddy of mine, really good guy. So just about to kick some butt. And then I'm playing as Pergamon, just kind of holding this corner over here. I don't really have to hold too much because everybody's kind of smushed together over here. But yeah, I've got coming in with your kind of typical Pergamon army, a lot of Game of Spears. A Game of Spears. You can't, I mean, Pontus. Don't get me wrong, Pontus is my favorite faction in the game still, and I don't know if that'll ever change. I absolutely love Pontus. The design, the units, the playstyle, it's so fun. But Pergamon's A Game of Spears is definitely one of my favorite units. They're just so good. They're fantastic at holding choke points. They can actually do a decent amount of damage for a spear unit, and the fact that they're like Asthero spears on steroids is just absolutely insane. The amount of damage and the amount of spears that can be thrown by these guys is just crazy. And Galatian swords for a 300 plus gold price can really get a lot of kills. They are like the slightly more expensive Club Levy. I love Club Levy. Club Levy can get so many different kills. So yeah, overall, Pergamon definitely comes in probably a close second of my favorite factions to play. They're very, very enjoyable. But yeah, so we've got Desert Rome over here with another kind of typical Desert Road army. You got Desert Legionaries, light infantry, and skirmishers primarily, being able to kind of hold this wall. Pergamon over here still has their chariots, and their chariots are about to go in and see if they can get some kills. They are taking some fire. Taking a lot of archer fire there, so I think he's going to try to back them up and try to save them for a different time. They are very expensive. Yes, they've definitely gotten their money's worth, I think, as of right now. I mean, they have 382 kills, because everybody knows, if you've watched this channel, if you watch my previous videos, chariots are extraordinarily overpowered. The amount of damage that they do, the amount of kills that they get is just insane, and it's beautiful. I absolutely love it. And these Italian swordsmen just do not know when to give up. And they were coming back to try to avenge their brothers, and they successfully were able to take out one of those chariots. And so they threw their Pila and then broke, but at least they were able to take out something. But bringing those chariots to 402 kills, absolutely insane. Moving over to Pontus. Pontus is finally engaged in combat, hand-to-hand combat with their mercenary Celtic warriors against some mercenary Italian swords. The mercenary Italian swords, I think, are the same ones that were weakened within the towers, so I don't know if they'll be able to win this battle, but they'll definitely be able to do some damage and weaken the enemy forces to help try and ensure victory on this side. Just those shields are so beautiful. I love it. Like, those shields are just absolutely gorgeous. And that armor, the breastplates on there, are really cool. I'm not really sure what the historical reference of having the 3 boobs on your breastplate, but still looks really cool. Moving back over to the side of the Roman Empire and Arverni. Arverni is just kind of, you know, giving us a little bit of a cock tease with their levy freemen charging in and out, back and forth. Not really allowing us to be able to engage with them quite yet, but still doing whatever they can to make sure that we have to keep our eyes on it, because we also have, I forgot to show this towards the beginning, but we also have some Numidian riders, and I also set up some light horse, nothing too expensive, nothing too fancy. Oh my god, look at those shirts though, they're so colorful, so beautiful, and the shields are really cool. I love the designs of the shields and the battle wornness of the shield, just like all the dents and scars on the shield. But yeah, we do have some cavalry kind of forcing them to protect their flank and really spread out their army. I mean, they have this army spread thin. Not a terrible idea to be able to try to keep our cav from being able to flank and engage with their archers, but not really being able to support their units nearly as much. I do have my archers here over in the background. They're getting pelted by some artillery pieces, but that's okay. The artillery is going to miss a lot. And I'd rather them focus on just a really loose group of archers where they won't get as many kills than kind of on these like tighter-knit groups of infantry where they'll get a lot of kills, because I need to be able to make sure I have as many bodies to hold the front line as I can. But they are sending in their Celtic warriors and lovely freemen. I do have my Galatian swords into the fray, as well as the support of some Numidian spearmen to help support and help ensure that we hold these 2 gaps. some Numidian light infantry charging out to be able to try to get some archer kills, but our Verdi and Rome both using some units to be able to try and make sure that this unit can't go and hit their archers. So they are going to go ahead and try to charge for some of those archers. I actually completely missed this. I didn't know that that was a thing. So he is going to use his Numidian light infantry to be able to just send volley after volley into those archers to be able to try and do as much damage as possible. Not a bad play by Wolf at all. I love Wolf's plays because he does so many different things that you wouldn't typically see within siege battles and within battles in general. He is a veteran Rome 2 player. He's a really good Rome 2 player, and it's always a pleasure to be able to see and play with him because you always learn something new. But yeah, he saw an opportunity and charged out to be able to try and get some damage off on these archers, really doing some good damage. And with some cheap Numidian lights, I mean, the fact that he lost a decent amount of that unit, but he really did deal some nice damage to those archers, and we're able to weaken them enough so that way, hopefully, when it comes to the archer versus archer battle, we'll be able to do more damage. Going back, I want to see, where are those chariots? Are they still alive? Where did they go? Where did they go? Do you guys see those chariots anywhere? Am I blind? Did they die? Oh, it looks like they tried to engage with the Romans over here, but they did finally get killed. We'll have to check and see how many kills that they got by the end of it. But yeah, it looks like they did try to engage with some Roman infantry over here. But the Romans, kind of learning from the past mistakes of their allies, finally turned around and just absolutely demolished them. Poor chariots, but they definitely got their money's worth with the amount of kills that those chariots got. That was crazy. That was very, very well done by our enemy forces. Artillery fire going in. There's a good clumping of infantry here for that artillery to be able to engage with. We got some armored Numidian spears, as well as some Numidian light infantry. I love the color scheme of the Numidians too. It almost reminds me of Lusitani with the yellow, the banana boys. Like, they're beautiful. But yeah, we got some Pontic support as well, so a really good combination over here. Moving back over here, Rome did try to get some Hastati down off the wall to be able to flank and hopefully kill some of our skirmisher units, but they were outflanked by some light infantry. Again, very good moves by Wolf there. That was absolutely beautiful. They were outflanked by some light infantry, just absolutely demolished. So again, well done by Wolf. And they are trying to come in here. They got some chosen swords as well as some principes, but they are going to get outflanked. They're not protecting that last flank, so there is a gap for us to be able to move through and surround the enemy forces. I am moving up some game of spears to be able to hopefully get some volleys into the back of these principes, just to try to do whatever I can to be able to help, because these are some pretty elite units, and I want to make sure that we try to do as much damage to as we can to them without actually having to fully engage with them on the side of melee troops. Moving back over to my side, I am engaged with some of those Celtic warriors. I'm engaged with my Galatian swords, just trying to do whatever I can to hold them back. I'm taking a lot of archer fire, but so far I've been able to hold here pretty well. Our Verni is doing whatever they can to be able to just pepper me down, because I have no armor. I'm not sure why it's lagging. I'll have to check that afterwards. But yeah, no, I mean, I have no armor. Much like the Celtic warriors, I'm very, very susceptible to archer fire. And so if they just pepper me with archers, there's not really too much that I can do. Unless I want to try to answer with my own archers, but I've been so focused on trying to utilize my ammo and just try to deal with whatever damage I can to their infantry. Just trying to make sure that they can't push past me and make it into the city, because it's up to each individual one of us to make sure that we hold our positions as well as possible, and make sure that the enemy can't break through. So yeah, I just see the size of some Celtic warriors right here, so I'm just using my archers while the enemy archers are distracted, to try and do whatever damage I can to these Celtics and just try to absolutely melt them, which these arrows are definitely doing. You can just see them falling down like the pins of a bowling arena. Oh, it's just beautiful. I love it. You love to see them fall, those damn Celtic warriors. And now that they moved to the front, I'm going to quickly switch as I just did. I'm going to quickly switch my archers to try and engage with the next unit of Celtic warriors that's showing off their sides. They're not really too happy with my tactics, so they're going to go ahead and start trying to transition their archers over to engage with mine. But I see that they're moving, so I'm going to quickly try to get my archers with ammo out of there. Any archers that might be out of ammo, I might send forward just to hopefully trick the enemy into shooting at them and see if the enemy will waste their ammo. Moving over to Pontus. Pontus is or I'm sorry, moving over to Pontus. Let's move over to this side. We do have some Roman infantry trying to do whatever they can to flank our troops to try and break our lines. Pontus is doing a fantastic job against Carthage. Carthage has sent in their general. Maybe it was Carthage that left. I'm not really quite sure. Just because the AI usually has a tendency to kind of just charge in and hope to do as much damage as possible. So I think it was Carthage that ultimately left. That's my bad. I played against a lot of Roman players. Yesterday was actually when this battle was fought, and so I know that in one of the battles Rome had left. So yeah, my bad to Rome. If the Roman players watching, that's on me. That's my bad. But yeah, Pontus is doing a fantastic job of just doing whatever they can to clean up the rest of these Carthaginian units, so that way they can save the rest of their troops and move them on to the other sides of the battle to be able to try and push back the enemy. Over here, I do have a unit of hoplites just trying to do what they can to help hold against these chosen swordsmen. I just saw that there was a gap in these chosen swords. We're just trying to move in and utilize that gap to flank around our forces, so I quickly had some hoplites that I sent over to be able to cover that gap and make sure that they didn't flank. So I'm going to leave those over there to help support whatever I can. It's always good to support your allies whenever you can. I mean, you guys are there to help each other. You guys aren't individual entities. You guys are all defending the same territory for good reasons. So, you know, it's always good to be able to help your allies. But look at that. Oh my lord, Arverni. Arverni has always looked just so sexy. Just look at that. Oh, the metal armor just looks like pretty crude, but just really cool. Like crude and real well made at the same time, and it's awesome. And their shields are incredible. I love it. Lots of archer fire coming in to be able to engage with my hoplites, but they're a very heavily armored unit with very shiny, thick metal helmets. So I'm hoping that those helmets will help to protect them against archer fire. But yeah, the archers, I mean, we're taking a lot of archer fire, but it's not doing that much damage because of our heavily armored hoplite units. Moving back over here, still kind of switching out units every once in a while. I got a game of spears, throwing stuff into their chosen swords, but yeah, they're moving in chosen swordsmen, more Celtic warriors, just doing whatever is in their ability to be able to try and break through my units. But yeah, my Galatian swords, again, for like a 340, I want to say it's 340 gold cost unit. I mean, getting like 106 kills on Celtic warriors and chosen swords, not bad at all. And for a Galatian sword, it looks like this one's been primarily fighting against Celtic warriors, and they were fighting against chosen swords earlier, I think, as well. I mean, getting, what, 63 kills? Not bad. They are a fantastic unit, especially if they have the range support of archers and a game of spears or, you know, whatever, like any type of missile ranged unit. They can do some really, really good work. Our cavalry still just kind of hanging out, just sitting back, relaxing, waiting for a good opportunity. The enemy is doing a fantastic job of just making sure that there's no gaps for us to be able to break through, making sure that we can't get to their archers. They want to make sure we can't use any cheeky strategies to be able to minimize their ranged capabilities. Moving back over to Pontus, it looks like they're doing a fantastic job of getting rid of Carthage. The Carthaginian AI accidentally showed their flank to some Pontic swords, so they're going to take a lot of losses there. And with the African pikemen, that's a huge loss. Those pikemen are fantastic. Very heavily armored with beautiful shields. Those shields are incredible, and they can definitely do a lot of damage. Ooh, that lag. There's a lot of lag going on there. That was very interesting. But yeah, and then this other unit of pikemen just getting absolutely surrounded and destroyed. So Carthage isn't going to be able to last too much longer, and hopefully Pontus will be able to transfer some units over to help support our forces. Moving back over to the Cav battle, we're just kind of like circling back and forth, just doing whatever we can again to just try to get some damage done against these enemy units. The enemy is starting to kind of leave some gaps in their lines. I mean, they have to continuously send units up to keep peppering our lines. They need to get inside of the walls. They have to defeat us to be able to win. They have to push in. They have to either get the victory point or kill us. And the only way to do that is to engage with us. And I sure as hell am not leaving these walls right now. These guys are scary. I mean, looking at the balance of power, it does show that it's in our favor, but we're also fighting against Rome and Arverni, two very, very powerful factions. And Arverni still has Oathsworn. Arverni still has a lot of chosen swordsmen. Arverni's actually sending in a unit of Oathsworn right now to try and break through our units. And yeah, Oathsworn are deadly with those capes, those little green capes. I mean, flapping in the wind. they're gonna flap their swords right into our faces because we're gonna get demolished. Those Oathsword hurt like crazy. So they're definitely not out of the battle yet. Pontus now sending over their Pontic Royal Cavalry, their general unit. Pause for, well, actually go into slow motion for a second. Their general unit has 365 kills. I mean, I know that they had charged out before and engaged with the archers, but wow, that general unit really doing some work, some really good work for our team. Wow. I mean, I know Carthage was at AI there for a while, but holy smokes, Pontus, well done. The cav plays on their part is fantastic. We are starting to break over here. We've got some Desert Legionaries doing whatever they can to be able to hold against Rome, but it is Rome, Desert Rome versus regular Rome. Regular Rome is always the more powerful faction versus anybody, I think, except for Kush, maybe. But if you know how to counter Kush, that's really, you know, that's a little iffy. We did have some cav plays here. Masacily, Desert Rome did try to charge their cav in and get to their archers. I was successfully able to kind of circle a unit of cav over here after kind of trying to do whatever I could to distract these units. I was trying to circle these cav over to be able to engage with the archers, but the enemy's doing a great job of setting in their units and trying to do whatever they can to stop our cavalry. So I'm going to try to retreat my last cav unit so that way I can use it in the future, because it does not look like we'll be able to win. And then Pontus's general, 412 kills, getting into those auxiliary Syrian archers. Very, very, very well done on their part. And then now they're going to try to get the hell out of there because they got some legionaries trying to form up and stop them from retreating. So they're going to try to retreat through the gaps and successfully get out of there. But with that many kills, wow, that general has definitely done work. And you don't usually see generals doing, you know, a terrible amount of work now, because you always want to try to keep them back and keep them alive. So you love to see it whenever your allies or even your enemies after the, you know, you love to see it after the battle if your enemies are doing it to you, but utilizing their general and really utilizing them to the best of their ability. I am trying to use what units I have left, what ammunition I have left. I'm going to send my Galatian swords up there because they still have Pila. I'm using my archers to be able to try and weaken these Oathsworn. Just doing whatever I can because, again, a game of spears are fantastic, but they're not going to be able to win in one-on-one combat alone against Oathsworn. Oathsworn are just extremely powerful units. They can do a ton of damage, so you have to be extra careful about that. My cav did get caught inside of some Levy Freemen, and they are going to go ahead and get caught in Chosen Swords, and I wasn't looking over there at the time, so they are going to go ahead and get absolutely demolished. But they did, I mean, for the most part, they did their job. They distracted the enemy. They did what they could to be able to kill the enemy archers. I mean, they didn't do their job in the greatest way possible, but they did definitely try. And the enemy archers are going to try and focus down my archers and do as much damage as they possibly can. Hopefully, I'm going to retreat them here soon after seeing that. But yeah, again, just trying to do whatever I can to pepper against these enemy units. Pontus quickly transferring a ton of units over now that Carthage has finally been defeated. They're going to go ahead and start sending their army over to be able to do as much damage against Rome and against Arverni as they can. They still got a lot of forces. They still got a pretty decently sized army even after fighting Carthage for so long. So they can definitely do some real work. Moving back over, Rome running out of ammo are going to go ahead and send their archers in here just to be able to try and plug this gap and make sure they can't flank in hopes that their Arverni brethren can successfully push through and make it into the city. Rome's just going to try to do as much damage as they can to be able to hold this off for as long as possible. But those auxiliary Syrian archers getting 71 kills, not the greatest, but not the worst that I've ever seen. I mean, it's better than 0 kills. At least they were able to get a little bit. But yeah, we do have hoplites and legionaries and Pontic swordsmen all fighting together here against those archers, so they're not going to be able to last long. And now we're going to try to charge out and be able to really spread the enemies thin. And Arverni is going to go ahead and do a last-ditch effort charge as I'm trying to push out and try to, you know, get out and get their archers and be able to do as much damage as possible. They're going to, you know, charge in their Oathsworn, move in some Gallic Hunters, as well as the remains of their other unit of Oathsworn to be able to try and stop us. But we've still got Cav left over. We've still got our general, like, Cav left over. We've still got a lot of forces left over. And the balance of power looks a little rough. Definitely looks a little rough. And looking over here, you can see a lot more friendly forces than you can see of enemy attacking forces, and Pontus is starting to encircle and move out. We're starting to move out and engage the enemy over here. They're going to do whatever they can with their Celtic warriors to stop us, but I don't know if they can really stop. There's the absolute sea of forces just marching towards them, and the Cav being able to hit them from the flanks. I think that this is going to be the end. But very, very well played by our enemies. A very fun battle to play in. Definitely a lot of different strategies, especially by my allies. And you can never go wrong with some chariots. Chariots are always just so fun to watch. They're so overpowered. So you can't go wrong with that. But overall, a fantastic battle. GG's to my opponents. Good games to my allies. And yeah, let's see what the score is. We're just kind of waiting on this Roman unit to break. Boom. All right, let's see what the kills look like. Mine, I don't think mine are going to be very good because I only held that corner. But I did my job. I did what I needed to do. So let's go ahead and just look at the kills there. So me playing as Pergamon, getting 1,804 kills. Pontus getting 2,873 kills, almost 3,000 kills. That's insane. With 1,000 losses, almost tripling their KD ratio in Rome. That's awesome. Wolf getting 2,254 kills, doing incredible. Rome getting 1,552. Carthage getting 906, and Arverni getting 1,750. Looking over at my guys quickly here, my Galatian swords are doing very well. They're doing what Galatian swords need to do, and they're holding and trying to get a little bit of kills. At least staying in the hundreds. A game of spears definitely could have done better, but at least still staying mostly inside of the hundreds on kills. These ones still were kind of like trying to see battles, so they had the opportunity to be able to see over 100 kills. My archer's doing okay. These ones getting a little over 100, and then these ones we just don't talk about these ones. And then my cav doing okay. My general getting a couple of volleys out and getting some kills. Looking over at the true MVP of this game, chariots, 410 kills on those chariots. You crazy man. And almost 2 kills off from 500 kills on their general, and still doing fantastic with their Celtic warriors, their Pontic swords, and their naked swords. And then Wolf, of course, it's Desert Rome. They always do good. Desert Legionaries getting a ton of kills. Their Numidian skirmishers getting a decent amount of kills, as well as their general and Cav. Rome getting a decent amount of kills with some of their legionaries and their Hastati. Carthage just trying to deal with those chariots and those fantastic plays by Pontus. I almost feel bad for Carthage, almost. And that was really good. But mercenary noble fighters getting some kills. And then last but certainly not least, we got our Verni getting a little over 100 kills on the chosen swords and trying to stay in the hundreds on some of their units. And their archers reaching near the hundreds. Their Osworn staying kind of in the hundreds as well. But again, overall, a fantastic battle. Thank you so much to my enemies for playing it with me, and my allies especially for playing that with me. I learned a lot in this battle, and I quite enjoyed it. I hope that you guys enjoyed it as well. If you guys did watch the battle to the end, make sure you guys hit that like button, and if you guys haven't already, please be sure to hit that subscribe button. It helps me out a lot. We are almost at 100 subs, you magnificent bastards. So let's see if we can reach that by the end of this year. But yeah, guys, either way, much love to all of you. Thank you so much for watching the video. I really do appreciate it, and I will see you next time. Peace.